Hi everyone, this is a video for problem 6-8. More than likely there is going to be 2 or 3 videos for this problem just because it is somewhat lengthy. So we're again using the worksheet on page 212 from Juanita's Consulting. The first thing the book asks us to do is to complete adjusting entries. So we've done that before, so this is nothing new. We're going to put adjusting entries. Technically, again, it's supposed to be centered. We're going to put the date. So in this case, it's June 30th. And I find it easiest to work from the debits first, just because those are the first amounts you list in a journal. So in this case, we have wages expense. And then wages payable. The amount we are told is $200. And then you're just going to do this with the rest of the adjusting entries. The next one is supplies expense. That is $250. Let's see. Then we have insurance expense. Let's put the date. Prepaid insurance, $100. And then the last adjusting entry is for depreciation expense for the office equipment. And then accumulated depreciation office equipment. That's $110. So once we have the adjusting entries listed in the journal, we're going to transfer them to the general ledger. Again, this is something we have already done. So we're going to go to wages expense, put the date, put that it's an adjusting entry, and then it's going to be $200, which is going to give us $1,600. We're going to go up to wages payable, June 30th, adjusting entry, $200. And then you're going to do that with the other 3 transactions. So we have supplies expense at $250. Make sure I'm using the correct amount, and then go up to supplies. This is $550. And you can always double check your amounts here. See, it looks like supplies should have been $750, subtract $250 gives us $500. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and enter in the other 2 adjusting entries into the ledger. Okay, now that we have the adjusting entries in place into the ledger and the journal, we can go ahead and start with the closing entries. Remember, the acronym for closing entries is READ. So we're going to close the revenue account, which in this case is consulting fees. That is going to be closed to the income summary. If we go back to the general ledger, we can actually see the amount, or we could look at the 10-column worksheet. So it's $4,204. Okay, the next one is we're going to close the expenses to income summary. So again, we're just going to go down the list of expenses. And since we already have the list of expenses typed out on 6-7, we can just go ahead and copy and paste them over without having to retype anything. And so we're going to have to make sure we go to the general ledger and get the correct amount. It should be the exact same as was in the 10-column worksheet. So we have, see, make sure they do match. So again, to make life easy on us, let's just go ahead and copy the amounts. We already know how much the total expenses are. We've already added them up once. So the copy paste did not work, so it's $27.54. The next step is to close the income summary to capital account. So it would be Juanita expense capital, income summary, and then the last one is capital to, so I'm sorry, I split these two accounts. Should be income summary to capital. And then down here, we're going to have capital and then the drawing. The drawing amount we can already calculate because it is listed on the form and it is $800. So that's an easy one to do. Now, we cannot do income summary until we do the top two adjusting entries. Okay, so we're going to have to put the top information into the general ledger. So let's do consulting fees of $4,204. It's going to be a zero balance. It's the 30th, and it's a closing entry. Then we're going to go to income summary, June 30th, closing entry, $4,204. Go back to the general ledger, income summary, $2,754. And you're going to have to do the math. So that's 1,450. That means the next is going to be 1,450. So again, it's going to be the 30th, closing entry, 1,450. That's going to get it to a zero balance. Go to our capital account. Sure. Okay, so we're going to increase it by 1,450. 30th. Closing entry. This gives us 8,450. And then the last one is going to be closing the drawing account. So that's going to get the drawing account to a zero balance. That is going to be $800. So we're going to do the math. Should give us $7,650. If you go back and look at your income statement, the amounts should match, which they do. And so that is how you do the general journal and the general ledger. If you have any questions, let me know.